Have you ever seen a brand just blow up online? I mean, going from basically unknown to the talk of the town like overnight? Well, that's exactly what happened with Gianna Goat Milk, a company that's been around for almost 40 years. But what makes this story really fascinating, and why we're talking about it, is how that incredible viral success just imploded. It turned into a massive public relations crisis. So today, we're going to break down a masterclass in what not to do, with some huge lessons for brands and agencies alike. You know, this quote from the article we're looking at just nails it. It perfectly captures the heart of this whole fiasco. One minute, you've got this captivated audience, totally believing in the magic of this authentic, cool, revived brand. And then bam, the curtain gets pulled back and you see all the gears and levers behind the illusion. That single moment, that reveal, is where everything went sideways. All right, so here's how we're going to walk through this. First up, we'll look at how this brand was totally reborn online. Then, we'll get to the juicy part, the self-inflicted wound that shattered the whole illusion. After that, we'll analyze the brand's incredibly risky gamble to save face. And finally, we'll wrap up with the two crucial lessons that everyone in this industry needs to learn from this. Okay, let's dive right in. Our story starts with Gianna Goat Milk. And look, this is a brand that's almost 4 decades old. Not exactly the kind of company you'd expect to see crushing it on a super modern platform like Threads, right? Well, they were about to surprise literally everyone. So all of a sudden, this personality, Yang Bian, which translates to something like goat editor, just appears. And they were hilarious. They were real. They were replying to comments late into the night with this personal touch that felt completely unscripted and human. This wasn't that boring corporate marketing jargon. It felt like you were talking to an actual person. And because of this one single voice, this old kind of dusty brand was suddenly the coolest thing on the internet. People went nuts for it. So the brand is flying high. They're riding this massive wave of goodwill and positive energy. The momentum seems totally unstoppable. But then, right at the peak of their popularity, the fairy tale comes to a screeching, grinding halt. This is the moment the magic just gets shattered into a million pieces. Get this, the brand's external marketing agency decides it's time for a victory lap. They go onto Threads, the exact same platform where all this magic was happening, and they post about their brilliant strategy, pretty much saying, hey everyone, that young Beyond character you love, that was us, our creation. For the fans, that feeling of betrayal was immediate. The authenticity they fell in love with suddenly felt fake, like a manufactured corporate trick. Now you might be thinking, well, hold on, they did the work, so why shouldn't they get the credit? But, you know, in the world of brand building and social media, it is just not that simple. Let's break down the two massive fundamental mistakes they made right here. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. First, they broke the golden rule of being an agency. Your client is the hero, you're the guide who stays in the shadows. All the public glory, every single bit of it, belongs to the brand, period. Second, they picked the absolute worst stage for their announcement. They tried to sell their business-to-business services on a consumer platform, basically turning the magic show into a cringy sales pitch right in front of the audience. But wait, the agency's mistake was just the beginning of the drama. The brand's response? It was even more intense. They were facing a total crisis of authenticity. They had to act fast, and boy, did they decide to go all in. So, the brand fires back with this super powerful statement. The soul is our own. They basically threw the agency under the bus, claiming they only gave some minor image suggestions. They insisted that the beloved young Beyond persona was a real in-house employee. It was a bold, direct play to win back the hearts and the trust of their fans. And this right here visualizes the massive gamble they took. In the short term, it totally worked. Fans rallied around them, cheering for the brand against the evil agency. But the long-term risks, they are huge. First, think about it. What if the agency gets mad and leaks emails proving they did way more? The brand instantly gets exposed as a liar. Second, they've created what's called a key person risk. They've pinned their entire brand identity, their soul, on one single employee. What if that person quits? Or makes a mistake? The whole brand's soul walks right out the door with them. You know, this whole saga is so much more than just some online drama. It's a really powerful case study. So let's boil this all down to the real, actionable takeaways for both the agencies and, of course, the brands themselves. All right, for any agencies watching, this is crystal clear. Your success is your client's success. All public credit belongs to them. You are the shadow. If you want to show off your wins, do it in the boardroom, in a private pitch, not on a public social media feed. You get paid to build trust, and breaking that trust just to promote yourself is always a losing game. And for the brands, the lessons are just as critical. First things first, get your contracts in order. Make them ironclad when it comes to confidentiality. Second, please, do not pin your brand's entire soul on one person. It's so much smarter to attribute success to a brand team to keep things stable. And finally, be careful. That quick, emotional win might feel great today, but it could be hiding a strategic landmine that could blow up your entire brand tomorrow. And that really brings us to the ultimate takeaway from this whole wild story. In an age where everybody is just desperate to take credit and show off how clever they are, sometimes the truest mark of a professional is the discipline to just stay silent, to let the magic work, and to never, ever be the one who reveals how the trick is done.
喜欢这种学习方式，欢迎订阅我的频道，让我们一起用下一个10分钟，把商业英文变简单。